Oh my God, I can't stop thinking about that dream, right? Whenever I have these dreams, whenever I get these codes, when I'm not allowed to stop thinking about it, it means there's still more to the story. There's more to uncover. It's like the dream is the trigger for me to decipher codes, right? So, if you go to my X, the Dream Weaving Alchemist X, Facebook, Instagram, you'll see it all there. You'll see it all. But I'm going to put screenshots in the community notes. Um, Panama comes up a lot. So does Peru, Central South America, Aztecs, Mayans, all of them. Like it has been coming up for me constantly for a couple of years now. And since I had that dream this morning, I understand why. Like, I get it now. Um, the Mayan temple dreams, the being taken into the cave, the indigenous people doing the drawings on my feet and me getting pregnant and saying, "Don't forget she watches over you too," and pointing to the eye in the sky and all of that. Like, I get it now. I understand. I understand it all. The Lama, like, I get it. Um, but obviously today's Sunday. It's the day of the sun. It's the day of the mothers, mother son, my still. And of course, whenever I think about Sundays and, the sacred day of the mother, and especially with Mother's Day coming up at the end of this month, obviously I think about the Blessed Virgin Mary, my home girl. She's been a stalwart in my life. Even when I walked away from Catholicism to try and find the answers to the existence of God, even when I didn't believe in God, even when I, wasn't a reverend, when even I always loved the Virgin Mary. I've always had that that love for my Santa Maria. Um, and then I got reminded because I'm baking Easter cookies for my boys, spiced Easter cookies. Because obviously we're in spring now, and we're coming up to the resurrection. We're coming up to the birth of a whole new year with new flora and fauna and new life being created. So I'm making cookies that I want to make every year to sell in my bakery for people to eat, to bring them, fertility and a bountiful harvest for the year. Because obviously, with my connection to Persephone and her being the goddess of the spring equinox and all of that, like it's tradition for me. But because I'm stepping into this new life and this new empire involving baking and doing things to sell in my bakery that are blessings for people to eat, like offerings for them, to help them with their health and their fertility, whether it be their abundance, whether it be like actual fertility to help them get pregnant, or to sow a bountiful harvest for their finances, their future, their careers, whatever. So I've just tried a new recipe, and I'm going to get my boys to see how they like them. And if they're any good, they're just, because obviously talking about Easter and being Catholic and all of that, it's all about, like leavened bread and, because like we had Lent, we always celebrated Lent. So, we weren't allowed certain things. We weren't allowed, and my family, we weren't allowed red meat, we weren't allowed sugar, we weren't allowed yeast, blah blah blah. But I'm mixing things up a little bit, because I'm not Catholic, I'm not a practicing Catholic, but I do embrace some of my Catholic faith into what I am as an Indigenous Reverend, because as an Indigenous Reverend, I'm dealing with the spiritual connection with Indigenous tribes, like that dream that I had with Jose this morning, and obviously the Indigenous people of Panama. So then it got me thinking about this dream that I had about the Blessed Virgin Mary, where my boys and I were staying at a hotel. Now, remember my Blackpool dream, where I told you that hotels and dreams represent in between, the in between worlds, like the in between the old and the new. So I had a dream that my boys were there, that we were traveling, because we were traveling around making the Eye in the Sky shows. And we had stopped at this place unexpectedly. It was unplanned, but like it was welcome, because I think obviously we'd been traveling around, we were tired, and for whatever reason we needed to stay. We decided to stop in this place. I didn't know it in real life. I just know that wherever this place was in Central or South America, it was a perfect blend of the old architecture and the new. And in the dream, I can't remember. I know a clock was involved. I'll have to reread it, but I'll put screenshots up, and it is all over my social media. I had a dream that I got called, like energetically pulled, to this church across the road. And when I went in, I saw this man in the garden who I thought was a padre, but he was just there, like, you know, he was just there, like, tending to the gardens or something like that. And I went into the church and I sat and I was praying, and I was watching all these spirits and that from the past, obviously time jumping within a dream, time jumping within a time jump, because fractals, that's what I do. I can be in multiple places at once, because the Virgin Mary, the Blessed Virgin, taught me how to do bilocation jumps. She's the first recorded, documented evidence of bilocation. The Bible calls it bilocation, or there's multi-location. But she's the Virgin Mary is the first person in history to be documented as being in two places at once. And it's called bilocation or bilocation. And she taught me that. She taught me how to do bilocation jumps and multi-location jumps, right? Again, it's all documented. I don't hide nothing. I'm a very honest person, because I'm trying to clear my name and prove that quantum magnetics is a real science, right? So I have help from all the gods and deities and saints and all of that. So the Blessed Virgin, it taught me how to do bilocation and understanding what it was and how to control it. But obviously, because I'm a scientist, I call them time jumping, and I call them fractals. Fractals of time, because I can be in um, history, I can be in the past, present, and the future in a dream, or within a code, where when you look at it, it will be me in multiple different locations spread out over different time periods. So the dream with Jose, and this one with the Mayan temples, and this one with the Virgin Mary and all that, like, it's proof is in the pudding, so to speak. It proves that it's undeniable. The ghost zombie dreams, he was there with me in that one, so he wouldn't be able to deny that one, because it was funny. Because when we heard them running up behind us, we locked arms and started trying to run away. But now we know that experience that we had in Salem at the Ghost Zombie Park was all to do with the dream that I had this morning, and the Mayan temple dreams and all of that. So in this dream, I had been called by the Blessed Virgin Mary to go to this church, so that she wanted me to take my rehua spray and my tane clay, because there's trapped souls there. Now, as an occult scientist, the paranormal and the supernatural are two completely different things. I I work in the realms of the supernatural to heal the paranormal, because the paranormal is where death is. It's where fear is. It's where the burdens of the psychological mind. So anyone who's grieving, anyone who maybe has mental illnesses, or dealing with stresses and that, child abuse or domestic abuse or violence, or there's been a violent death or a war or a violent occurrence, or like a mass death, that all Papatuanuku, Mother Earth, she holds on to that energy. And very few, there's no such things as ghosts and hauntings, right? It's all time bends and time slips. I'll put a link in the description box below so that you can watch the video to explain about what time bends and time slips are. But the dead don't walk the earth. But when, in the odd occasion where there are trapped spirits, it's because they have been stopped from crossing over to the light. It is usually because their death was so sudden and unexpected that the shock and impact of their death got trapped in the atmosphere within the ion particles of the Earth's atmosphere. And then, like stone tape theory, it will bring them back, like resurrect them and play it over and over and over again. Their wandering, their tragedy, their suffering. But the thing is, it is an exceptionally rare occurrence for a spirit to be trapped. When they are trapped, when they need your help to be crossed over, they defy the laws of physics. They basically break the laws of physics to split time open, to split the atoms of time open, the atoms that are recorded in the atmosphere that document everything that has ever happened since the Big Bang, right? It's like an akashic record of everything captured inside the memories of the atom, the quarks and gluons, and that hold on to it with exceptional power that can't be broken unless you defy the laws of physics, unless you split the atom open and step through it. So when the dead are genuinely trapped, when there's something going on where there needs to be a crossing over, where there needs to be, a release of the souls, it happens in a way that is very quick. They don't haunt because physics doesn't work that way. In order to, when you split an atom, it's like a split second crack, and you have to be in and out in a split second. So when the dead are trapped, they come through in a way that is absolutely undeniable. Like it can't be denied. They make their purpose known, they make their statement known, and then they're out. The easiest way for the dead to communicate is through your dreams, or with me, it's through my codes and stuff as well, right? So I document it all, and then I decipher the codes of my dreams. Once I have them, once I write them down, I step into them. It's like I can defragment the bits that need to be removed and shifted around and shaped in there in order for me to decipher the code. So then I know what the message is, and then I know what to do next. So in this dream, the Blessed Virgin Mary asked me to go to this place. She asked me to come back and cross these souls over because there had been like a slaughter. There'd been like a war or something like that, and all these people had died, and they had gone to the church for sanctuary, and it got burnt down or something. And I've spent since 2003 trying to figure out where this church is. At first I thought it was Argentina, and then I thought it was El Salvador, and now I'm thinking it might be Panama. So I had a look for Panamanian churches and cathedrals, and I found a couple of churches and cathedrals that fit the pattern. One of them is in a place called Colón. And that got burnt down, and the people came to build the railway there, and they used to go to that church. Now, see, the thing is, I'll put links in the description box below. I found another one in Panama City that matches the age, and because obviously I immediately looked at the ones that had any connection to do with the Blessed Virgin, but there were other ones there. But what I found was a connection to gold and silver, because I keep dreaming about this river being lined with gold, and in Cologne, I think it was Cologne, um, 3/4 of the town got burnt down. And in this dream, I think it was the church that got burnt down, or there was definitely a fire and the people were trapped, or something like that. I've taken a screenshot, but I haven't read through it yet properly because I needed to get this video out. But then the other one in Panama City, it's as old as what I was seeing, and it's like this one was founded by a conquistador from Peru, And I keep dreaming about Peru. You know, I keep mentioning Peru and gold and silver and the big ornate cross in the mountains and the fire and blah, blah, blah. So now I'm thinking this church might be in Panama. I just know that wherever it is, the Blessed Virgin Mary wants me to go there, and she wants me to take my rehua spray and my tane clay, and she wants me to do a cleansing, which in the dream I did. I laid everything down the way that I would do in real life, and it was like this big portal opened up, and she was above it in the prayer position or something like that, with her hands in prayer or something, and then all the souls that were trapped arose, and they'd come from all over. She said from foreign lands, and the railway, the one in Colón, Panama, they'd come from all over to build the railway. So I think I've narrowed down where this church is. I just have to find it. And then I don't know how safe Panama is. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the sort of place where I can just go with my boys. At the moment, it's not El Salvador. And I had done a occult private eye investigation with is it, you know, the two American girls, Froon and Lizanne Froon, is it? And her other Chris. What's I can't think because my mind is blown by what I've just discovered. Lizanne Froon and Chris, you know, the two American girls that went missing in Panama, and because it was all to do with, I believe, occult sacrifices and that, because they're still very, you know, embedded in the occult world there. So I wouldn't be able to just walk in. However, if the Blessed Virgin Mary, if it turns out that this is where I need to go, she's going to make it happen some way or another, because I have to go there. She's asked me, and I can't say no to the Blessed Virgin. So it's all there on my Instagram. It's all there on X, even with the Lizanne Froon thing. And I'll put screenshots of the dream in my community section, and a link in the description box with what I discovered just on Wikipedia about the churches. But it's like everything's making sense. Why I keep dreaming about gold. Even when I looked up Panamanian indigenous gods and all that, the first thing that came up was statues made from gold. Like, you know, ancient ceremonial statues and that had been carved out of gold. So I think maybe it might be Panama where this church is. So anyway, I'll upload this because I've got to get cookies out the oven, my Easter cookies. And I will speak to you later. It's all getting pretty exciting now, isn't it, eh? Since I've stepped out of the old into the new, it's just like boom, 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 boom. Everything's falling into place. I will, Chris Kruger, Lizanne Froon and Chris Kruger, is it? Anyway, it's all there. It's all there. You can see it. I will speak to you later. Hold your head up high. Remember you are loved. Ka kite anō, and have a blessed Sunday. Mwah.